I'll start with, well, for those who don't know what iText is all about creating PDFs, not manually, but through a program we've written, either in Java or C#, and we use as input data from a database or XML, or we use an existing PDF and we stamp stuff on, or we use an existing PDF and we merge it with database data. That's what iText is about in one slide. Now, you could use iText in desktop applications, so you create an application and the output is PDF, but originally iText was created to be used in web applications. So iText was first released in the year 2000, and back then there wasn't really a tool that allowed you to create PDFs in a fast way, serve them to a browser. PDF was mostly something for the desktop. And so what we typically see is that people have a server with .NET on, or a server with a Java virtual machine, and they code in C#, they code in Java, Groovy, Scala, and they serve PDFs to the browser of an end user. Now, back in 2000 that was new. In the meanwhile, a lot of competitors and colleagues have started creating their own libraries, and that's a good thing. But we're looking ahead, and we're looking now at what about mobile devices? What about serving PDFs to your phone? Does that make sense? Creating PDF on your phone? Does that make sense? Probably not, but why not try it? And tablets, of course. There's a talk about the iPad in the afternoon. I'm going to talk about Android tablets. And then that's one aspect. Another aspect we've been looking at, or we'll be looking at, is cloud services. So instead of saying, okay, I want to create a PDF, so I'm going to create this PDF on that server, you're no longer interested in where is the PDF created. You just want to, for instance, send a PDF, send a string, and then one of these servers in the cloud will return a PDF that is watermarked with your string. So it's a different approach. And we may need to adapt iText to work in such an environment. Now, if we talk about devices, does it make sense to create PDF on a device, yes or no? Let's look at online versus local. Online PDF generation, what do we see? Our customers, we've already talked about invoices. You buy something in a web store and you get an invoice in PDF, and the invoice is, for instance, created by iText, or we fly to the States using KLM, we register, we get a boarding pass, iText is used to create the boarding pass. Bank statements, your site statistics, output from a web app. It doesn't even have to be a PDF. For instance, Faber and Faber, that's a publisher of books. They have a lot of books that are out of print, and you want that book that is out of print. Well, you can order it, and using iText, they create a nice PDF, and then they print the book on demand. So all of this remains on the server, but when does it make sense to create PDF locally? Well, if you have a desktop application and you need PDF output, okay. But then digital signatures, that's when you really need to do stuff on the client side. Because if I sign, for instance, if I sign a document with my EID, it has a private key on it, it would be very insecure if I was able to send my private key to a server and then let the document sign there. That's nonsense. That's not going to happen. It's also a good idea to create PDFs locally for private data. For instance, my phone here, I have a call log on my phone, and I have a calls to PDF application where I can just click on select, for instance, a person with who I've had phone conversations. I can click on a button, and a PDF is created with the log showing me with who I called with. Photos or scans, that's also something that you may want to do locally, because a cloud service where you make a photo album, will you send megabytes and megabytes of images to a server and then get even more gigabytes of PDF in return? No, I'll show you an example of an Android application where all the pictures that are taken with my tablet are integrated in a simple photo album using iText, creating a PDF with all those photos. Offline use, well, another thing where you would want to use iText is, suppose that you're a salesman and you go from customer to customer and they book orders with you. And you want to fill out a purchase order and maybe sign it. Well, what happens if you are offline? Maybe in the States you're not, well, it happens with me. When I go to Brussels, for instance, I depend on my phone to find my way, and then suddenly I don't have a connection and I'm totally lost. So what we could use iText for is to fill out forms on a tablet, save them as PDF, and use the document as a data container. So iText for mobile, does it make sense? Maybe, but maybe not, but let's make an Android port anyway, because it's not that difficult to do it.